Good evening, it is Brian at Fitzpatrick's Garage, Dublin Road, Kildare. I want to show you this car here, which is the all-new Civic Sedan. If you want any information on this car, please do give me a call, 086 843 1945. I apologise, I am having some serious technical difficulties this week with cameras, and the quality on this camera unfortunately is not as good as I would like, so I will do my best to do another video at some stage. Very quickly, we are Fitzpatrick's Garage, Kildare, so as you can see down through there, we have Maxall just here beside Honda, and then after that there is Hyundai up through here, and then further up the road along here there is also Mercedes on the building next after the shop that's beside us. And there's also garages in Naas and Carlow and Tullamore. So it is a family run business in operation for almost 70 years, so you know if you're spending a lot of money on a nice car like this, you know the after sale service is going to be there. Anyway, let's have a look at the car because that's all you really want to see here. Okay, so in terms of differences, first of all, between the two cars, if we have a look at the front, the first thing that you would notice is they're not terribly dissimilar. So looking at this hatchback version first, along over through here, you'll see this big grille section along here where the hatchback has that large grille. And after that then, if you compare it to what's on this one over here, so you'll see here, it's a lot longer and flatter, so it's more subtle looking along there, whereas this one here has quite a large duct kind of, I suppose, air intake kind of style look, so it's much more aggressive on the hatchback compared to the saloon. The second thing is, if you look at the grille on the saloon, it is black, whereas if you look at the grille on the saloon, it is chrome. So the main things there then, I suppose, is that it just gives it a more distinctive look. So if you look at the two cars side by side, while they're very similar looking cars, you do see a difference over here. It's just more subtle overall. But some people really like the aggressive look, and some people have come in and said, no, it's too aggressive, so I think this one over here might be more suitable for what they want. Second thing, moving down the side of the car, by the way, there will be different engines. This one here is a 1.6 diesel, but they come in a 1 litre petrol as well, which is 120 brake horsepower diesel, 127 horsepower petrol. This will also have 127 horsepower petrol turbo, and also 1.6 diesel, 120 horsepower. Anyway, back into this here, if you see along here, these are diamond cut wheels, which is quite nice and shiny, but they're tinted dark, whereas these ones over here are silver. So diamond cut as well, nice and shiny, but silver. So overall, it gives it, I suppose, it just makes the wheel stand out. It's the exact same wheel, it's just differently done, that's all. After that then, as we move down the side of the car, if you see here, chrome strip which surrounds the window. This one here, chrome strip which surrounds the window. But look at these door handles, they're chrome as well. It's not really easy to see on the silver car, but it's quite nice looking when you actually see. And when you think about it this way, I think it really starts to make sense, because you have this nice silver wheel, chrome door handle, and chrome around the window as well, so it all looks really cool overall. Coming down to the back of the car, actually one thing I might do is just turn on the tail lights for a sec on both cars so you can see the differences. So the video is really going to be for people that want to know about the saloon specifically in terms of details in this what's called a Smart Plus model, and also just to show you differences between the two cars overall. Interior wise, there is absolutely nothing, guys. It is literally the same car overall on the inside in terms of features up front. The rear is a little bit different. So looking at the back of the car, I'm just trying to get back here for a sec, so this will give you an idea of what's going on in the back. So you look over here, only when this car came in, it's actually starting to make me realise now the rear of the hatchback car, I always thought it was kind of a large car in the rear, but in terms of comparing to that there, this is starting to look a lot more hatchbacky since it came in, but look, that's only my idea. Nice tail lights all the way down the back on the hatch, and then they have this black area down along through here, whereas the saloon has red all the way down through here, and then still it has the nice LED style. But if you look along there, when you're looking at these two lights, these ones here, you see the way they come up around through there and onto the boot, but it's a short area. But look at this one over here, it's much more sharp and aggressive. So it looks quite nice. After that then, in terms of the C-pillar on the rear, which is the way it comes down around, this one has spoiler, and I guess yes, it is more aggressive looking overall, whereas this one has that more kind of grand coupe look. In, I suppose, the modern saloons are kind of shaped like that as well. Good airflow off the rear of the car. Check out the size of the window. I don't know if there's certainly different sizes, but they look at this one looks smaller than the length of this one over here overall. If you compare that after if you think about it this way, right, the front of the car, yeah, they're dead center. So if I have a look at the size on the rear, this is the difference between the two of them. So yeah, there's a bit of a difference alright, isn't there, when you think about it? Like, it's not massive, but sure it couldn't be. Saloon and hatchback cars, they're already kind of, you know, relatively similar. The boot on this one, so that's the size of the boot. I'm just going to clean the camera for a sec. Apologies, I cannot stop this camera, so it has to be kind of one shot. So that's the size of the boot, nice and flexible, and a massive entrance area into it. The boot on these ones, they have a pro and a con. So the con is that you can't open the boot from the outside using any buttons. You got to use this button here on the inside, whereas the hatchback, as you saw, I can open it from the boot. After that, in through here, this is the size of your boot. So if you see there, it's quite a big long boot. It's got 40 litres, no sorry, it's over 40 litres more than the hatchback equivalent, and that's how that opens, and then that's how that opens back like that as well. After that then, I'm just going to close this down here for a sec, but there is one neat trick. So this one, okay, it doesn't have the button on the outside, this one does. However, I'll show you in a little while, this one's got a cool feature because I can pop it open from the key, whereas this one I can't. After that then, in terms of the rear of the car, just one more view there from the side as well. You'll see the kind of way the shapes are different on the rear, because it's all about the back of this car. The saloon version compared to the hatch, it's all about the back. So in terms of size in through here, let's have a quick look. So if I sit in the back, and remember I'm about 6 foot, and if I really plant myself all the way back through here, this is the height I have. So yeah, it's about that kind of length on my hands over my head. And then if you sit into the back, I genuinely do not know what's going to happen here. I know I did this before actually in the last video, but I can't remember. One thing straight away, I definitely feel like I have more legroom here. I'm going to check that off the hatchback again. But in terms of, if I plant myself, yeah, more headroom, definitely. It feels it, but actually if I turn my hand like that, it does. It's a little bit, it's not unbelievable, but it is. But one thing I definitely notice is it just feels a lot bigger in the back. So the whole area, and maybe it's because this one has privacy glass over here, whereas this one doesn't, and this window on the back is a lot bigger as well. So it just feels like a lot bigger in the back, and kind of, I suppose, more, how would you say, I hate that word airy because it doesn't really mean anything, but it kind of does feel like that overall. In terms of the rear, now again, okay, those seats could be set differently, so it might be unfair, but in terms of in front of me, yeah, it's similar. Just the other one, I don't know, it just gives you that sensation that the car is bigger overall, and that could be completely subjective. It mightn't even be true, but it does feel that little bit larger in the back. So sometimes you look at the rear of this car and there's certain angles where it looks almost like a hatchback, until you look at that obviously, but there's certain times then where whatever way you catch it, sometimes it starts to look more saloony overall. So you'll see yourself when you come to look at it. Okay, anyway, while we're at it, let's start concentrating on saloon only, and this is Smart Plus. So Smart Plus basically means that it is, I think, probably the best value for money spec. There is going to be a premium as well, but I think at the price point for what you're getting, the Smart Plus gives you a really, really nice finish. So what I've done there is I've left the lights on. There's an automatic light function, so the lights are going to stay on for about 20 seconds or so. What will happen then eventually is they'll turn off like they just did there. The first thing I can do then is I can unlock the car and the lights come back on because they're automated. The second thing I can do, it looks cool, I like it actually in the silver. And silver on the hatchbacks we didn't find as popular, whereas the you know, greys and blacks and all that were, but I think in this it's a big looking car in silver. But look, colours are a personal thing. I can let the windows down, I can lock them again, and then I can let the windows back up using the key as well, so that's all pretty funky. And then you see my wing mirrors have come in, and when I open the door they'll come back out. Like what I was saying to you, when you go around to the back, and I do apologise if you have managed to watch this video in the not so good conditions of this camera, I appreciate it. Anyway, back to this, pop. Pretty cool. You can walk up to it and lift it, so I definitely like that kind of function. There's a really nice little ducktail spoiler you can get for them as well, so but yeah, no, very, very cool. Right, moving on to the back, Smart Plus we saw already has an alloy wheel down through here, which is 17-inch in a diamond cut. You know these are now chrome. And then on the rear of the car I've got Chilocks over there, I've got electrics for rear windows, I've got my armrest in the centre, I've got 3 head restraints, I've got 3 3-point safety belts, I've got a lot of leg room in the back of the car, I've got some dirty shoes by the looks of it as well, and then I've got a kangaroo pocket over here. So all very nice and quite a nice place to be in terms of the back. The engines, like we were saying, they will be 2 variants. So this one here is going to be your 1.6 120 horsepower D-Tech engine. I have the key in my mouth here for the minute. So our dreams. Those engines are 120 horsepower, 300 newton meters of torque. They're a flyer, really good engine, and they are 180 euros a year for road tax, and they should be rated for close to 70 miles per gallon, which is going to be somewhere in the region of your 4.5 litres per 100 kilometers, 4.5, that kind of thing. Depends on your driving style, obviously, but smart looking car in silver. Okay, now inside, there's going to be 1 litre turbo, 127 horsepower engine that will also become available, and very soon, like in the next week or two. Right, okay, so this is the startup on the digital menu. I'm just going to start up the car for a sec. Okay, that's fine. So in through the centre, I've got a USB connector, I've got drinks holders, I can move this backwards or forwards, I've got my 6 forward gears in through here, I've got a brake hold and an automatic park brake. After that, I've got my start stop function, I've got my econ function, which reduces how aggressive the cruise control is, and also aggressive the throttle is, and also the air conditioner. In through here, okay, so Honda Connect, come on. Okay, Honda Connect, basically navigation, so that's telling you in terms of Garmin what's going on. I press this button in through here, and then it just doesn't want to do what I want it to do, doesn't it not? Oh my god, why am I so stupid? Map, and map, fine. Okay, so there you go, and all navigation functions in through there, grand. Back into home, I've got my audio function, which is where I want music to come from. I've more functionality over here. So if you look down to the right hand side of the gear knob, so you can see in through here, I've got HDMI, and then I've also got USB and all that kind of stuff there as well. After that, then I'm just going to move out of the way of the sunlight. It's so annoying here, and this camera's not really doing well with it, so that's made absolutely no difference. Okay, anyway, reverse camera, as you saw, when I go for reverse over and back, you have 6 forward gears, and your reverse then brings up the different functionality on the camera, and also then it will have dynamic guidelines and all that kind of stuff as well when you turn left to right. Grand, back into phone is in through here, general settings, smartphone connection, really cool. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, if you haven't experienced it yet, it's really cool. You plug in your phone basically, and it takes all the functionality from your phone, and you know, all your Google Maps and Spotify and all those kind of things. I have to say though, look in the mirror there, Smart Plus Diesel looks pretty cool in hatchback. So lots of functionality on that radio, Honda Connect, and it's better than the one that was out previous. Like the previous one was the first generation, that's the second generation one. I think it's quite cool. Headlights are automated, so they come on themselves at night, plus they're automated when you meet traffic. They will dip, and then when you go back into country area, they'll go back up to full. After that, wipers are automated, so they'll come on themselves. Cruise control in through here, but it's got a couple of functions, so I can turn it on, and what will happen then is I can have adaptive cruise control, which you can see in through there. I can say, right, follow the car in front, 4, 3, 2, 1 car lengths, and lane keep assist. I can hit that button and it'll line up and keep the car between the lanes. After that then, the functionality in the center, if I press this button over here, information for average speed, fuel efficiency, all that kind of stuff in through there, with the digital rev counter all set up in through there as well, so quite cool. Bluetooth and that kind of stuff down through there overall. After that then, in the bottom section here, I will have things like parking sensors, lane departure warning. So this one's going to keep you in the lanes, this one's just going to warn you if you've drifted out of your lanes by vibrating the steering. It's got autonomous braking, so under 32 kilometers an hour, if something happens in front of you and you don't react, the car will try and hit the brakes to keep you in check. After that then, usual electrics for windows and mirrors, boot release we saw, all those doors have side impact protection bars, airbag here, airbag there, curtain airbag up high, side airbag over there. Those brakes will have things like anti-lock brakes you'd expect, but emergency brake assist, emergency brake distribution, and loads of things that are dedicated to allow you to slam on the brakes but have full control under full braking pressure. So there you go, that is a Civic Sedan. They will come in a Smart Plus, which is the Smart Plus model you see right in front of you right now. The car will be available in 1 litre turbo petrol, 127 horse, or 1.6 diesel, 120 horse. The car will say, sorry, obviously there's going to be finance deals and all that kind of stuff available on the car. We can trade in any car you want. So that will give you an idea. If you're looking at Smart Plus, and here's the thing, right? I know you can say that to people a million times and they still won't believe you. There's no difference on the inside, like nothing. So if you look at the interior of that car, right, just bear in mind, pedals, steering wheel, Honda Connect, all that kind of stuff, the way it's laid out, the way the seats are. I'm telling you right now, there is no difference up front here. It's all about the rear of the car. So pedals and clock, we could literally be in the other car right now. There's nothing in the difference. This car is all about in here and how it's shaped back there. And there's one, well, okay, I don't want to say it just in case, but as the time of this video, there is about €1,000 between them. So for somebody that's coming in looking at that car there and they feel it's too aggressive, I am now going to say to them, look at this one here, which is really stylish and a little bit more subtle. And yes, I get it. Some people felt that this was too aggressive for what they wanted. They didn't want to stand out as much as that. Some people don't care. Some people actually want to stand out. And then some people generally just don't actually care. This one here, I think, is going to catch some of those people that wanted something that was very, very similar, but a little bit more subtle overall. So I think it looks really, really nice. I love that car. It's really nice, but then again, I love everything Honda. If you want to give me a shout, please do. 086 843 1945. Call, text, or WhatsApp. If you've managed to watch the whole video, I really appreciate your time because I know how boring they can be, and secondly, the quality is not so good. I promise you. If there's anyone wealthy out there that wants to give me a camera, please do, because all the ones I seem to get are not so good. As we were saying, Fitzpatrick's Garage, we're a family-run business in operation for almost 70 years. And I'm here a long time. I'm here since like 2007. So hopefully these cars are of interest. Thank you for taking time to watch.